Now, the rest of the story.
Well, it's never a dull moment. Just end up getting one of the steers out from behind the fence, and I'm out here bugging everybody. I have a couple random cases of pink eye starting up. These guys are all the ones that aren't an issue. Little Miss No Tag, but that's fine because, well, she's going to get her tag pulled anyway, and she's going to become one of my dad's heifers. And youngest calf I got, definitely filling out, definitely catching up to everybody else. So we're doing good there. They've been weaned off for a few days, and from what I have been told, the calves are taking it great. The cows are the ones that were bawling all night. So I gave them, which this thing is handy but annoying at the same time, because this is how it works. And then say you're able to get close enough to them to poke them, and then as you're pushing it, it pushes the meds out. Problem is, it's all plastic, and this likes to bend. So if the syringe isn't all the way full, say if it's only like that much, it's not too bad. But once you get it out like a full syringe, and this is just a 10 cc dose, but it doesn't want, like, it takes a lot of pressure to actually get it to actually start dosing. So as of right now, I think they all hate me, which I think is fine, because I don't think everybody wants a whole group of pets running around out here. I want them quiet. I don't want them mean, but I don't want them constantly chasing you either, where they want you to scratch their ear. I mean, that's what we got him for. So everybody here has been weaned off. We've been on calf feed or calf creep now for months. Not really. 2 months is what we've been on this, and I don't remember the last time I filled it, so I should probably take the initiative to check to see what we got. This is the feeder out of the shed out at my brother's place. Oh, we're sitting all right yet. Yeah, say for that's enough for just about 2 weeks yet, because that, oh yeah, that goes clear but down to the back. This is a impulse, not an impulse buy, but it was a encouragement purchase, because Dad was looking for a creep feeder to put out in the shed at my brother's place, and we convinced him, because this guy was used lightly and it was blue at one point, and it was sitting up there, and it was only used price, but it was only, I say that, but it's like $1,000 or $1,500 more than the 150 bushel unit. And we can get, I've never had this thing full yet, but the day is coming. And this is what we're feeding the calves. They've been on this now since June 19th, I believe, and they really didn't start taking off eating it until about the 20th of July. So they're going through it good. If you guys can see it very well with the camera, there are no bones or ribs sticking out in any of these guys. They have all found the feed bunk, and there's a little bit of size variation in here. Like her, she's a good example, and that was the one that was affected the most by pink eye, which he'll pull out of it for how far along it is. It's manageable. I've actually had better luck doing penicillin, like just spraying it into their eye, and almost a lot better luck than what I've done just giving them the treatment. The only problem you run into is why I'm using that pole syringe is you gotta be able to get close enough to them, and they don't really want you getting up to the business end. Sticking the business end of a syringe into their face. I mean, and you're not even touching them. You just use it like a mini squirt gun. But everybody out here is fairly chill. The plan is they're going to be on the creep feeder for another month. And then the bigger end of them, which is going to be, I think it's what, 23 of them, I'm planning to actually switch over to feeding them in the feed bunk with buckets. We're going to regulate how much grain they're getting rather than getting all they want, because they're doing plenty of growing. But then you get ones like this girl, and oh, I'm not going to call her Big Berta because I respect her too much, but I say, hey, walking through them, it keeps them fairly tame. But the reason I want to switch over, the reason I was advised to switch over, by giving them buckets, giving them a certain amount of pounds per day, and they're not going to get overly fleshy, you know, as in too fat, and more or less just try to maintain what they're at and grow their frame. Now the 6 or 7 smaller ones, they're all close enough in size I can make a nice little group out of them. Not worry about them, you know, bumping around each other, like being too rough on each other. And I'll keep them on the full feed. And the goal is to have them up to a respectable feeder weight size. I'm not selling any of these. The first sale that I'm looking at that I would potentially sell them at is 4 months away. So got plenty of time to grow them, plenty of time to run them through the chute yet, give them their shots. They were banded. The steers, bulls were banded at birth, so we're good there. And I'm more or less just making sure they stay healthy, happy, all that fun stuff. And then as far as their feed goes, they have access to the water. And then I end up giving them an alfalfa bale and a grass bale. And they've actually chewed on them quite a bit already, which is good. So everyone's fine here. I'm still kind of deciding going forward here what my plans or intentions are with them for certain. I know I'm keeping a bunch of the heifers back, not sure how many. And we do have a bunch of manure piles that are pushed up and decomposing. The cows got evicted off the bale feeder. They are out on bale rings right now, but there's only 20 out there. So it's not like I'm really feeding them that often. And you get a pretty good idea of what they look like. Depending on who their dad is dependent on how dark red they are, how light they are. And this guy was my biggest steer out here, number 66, right there. And as you can see, the other guys that pretty much matched him in size now have caught up to him. So creep feed for the win. Gradually making purchases here and there to make feeding the cattle a little bit more streamlined going forward. Bulk bins, there's one of them. I called on one earlier, but I just couldn't agree on what it was he was looking to get out of it. But the combine is pulled out. I'm gonna say he's looking better than what he was. But now that I'm done doing that, I gotta grab this, get the syringe cleaned up, go drop the oil out of the combine, and I'm gonna start working on that. It doesn't need a lot. It just needs, well, new chains for the clean grain and tailing elevators, and I believe at least 3 belts. But those are the kind of maintenance wear parts that I don't mind changing. It's the parts that require thousands of dollars to get fixed, to replace. We've done enough of that with the 9510, haven't we? So Blue sky and beautiful. Wonderful September day. Definitely have the hauling capacity to speed us along getting bales hauled in from now on. If we're able to haul, well, 12 fodder bales, because I don't want to stack them, make 2 rows, stacks on top of the main row with fodder bales, because that's how you bust these arms off. That's what happened back here on those 2 arms. But like hauling in from the fields where you're not roading, I mean, you could stack, well, what, 14 pretty comfortably on here, as long as you're watching what you're doing. Well, 14 or 16, depends on how bad you really want to stack them up. But been wanting to get another wagon in for quite a while, and finally just found the right one. And I'm not going to bother taking you up to the combine in this video, but just got done fighting that calf. That last calf I treated made me walk around there like a dozen times. So thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. Probably talk about the combine in the next video, so I'll talk to you then.